I think I should just take it from the point where the issue of renting out the facility all started. And as I heard him mention, and he also mentioned that it is not a big deal to rent out any stadium for any concert because the use of stadia varies. So someone can come and use it for a boxing fight. Someone can come and use it for a musical concert. Someone can come and use it for a cultural ground, for whatever the person wants to do. However, everything should be properly defined, and you would know when you can have access to the venue. He mentioned that interesting angle of where in the UK there are specific times, but in Ghana, Premier League is ongoing. You write to the clubs and tell them for the whole month of December you cannot use the facility. That is where the issue is. But it's never a crime to rent out the facility for any other event. And as you recall, when the conversation about renting out the Accra Sports Stadium came up, there were two musicians,
yes,
Shatta Wale and Stoneboy. One of the things I heard then was the fact that Stoneboy was paying more than Shatta Wale to use the place.
Okay.
So it was one of the reasons why the NSA actually prioritized
Stoneboy over Shatta
Wale to use the facility because their days were clashing or whatever they said. Okay, so payments were made to the National Sports Authority. But the interesting thing was that prior to the musical concert and the payments being made, the account of the National Sports Authority was garnished, right? The Ghana Revenue Authority had secured a court order to freeze the accounts of the National Sports Authorities because the authority hasn't paid them withholding taxes since 2018-2019. And that money amounted to about 15.5 million Ghana cedis or more.
Wow.
Yes. In fact, I have a copy of that letter. I tweeted that letter yesterday. Many people were quite surprised at that. So, in that letter, you would realize that the National Sports Authority had only about 109,000 Ghana cedis in their bank. So, what this clearly meant was that there was no way money could be paid into that account anymore. So, they decided to pass the money into their Ashanti regional account. From where I sit, I actually believe that if the NSA were transparent enough, no one would have issues. So, for instance, if Stoneboy is paying 100,000 or even 5 cedi to use the facility, what stops the NSA from telling the world that we are renting out the facility for 5 cedi and we'll use 3 cedi to recover the pitch? I don't think it's a crime. But when some of these things are done in an opaque manner, it becomes extremely difficult for people to actually appreciate the kind of work you are doing. And I've spoken to Professor Chumesi many times. Even right at the time he became NSA boss, I was one of the few people who always had the privilege of interviewing him. When his car got missing in Kumasi, I was the first person to speak to him. And he was even surprised that I had the information that his car was stolen in Kumasi. He told me armed robbers attacked the driver and made away with the car. Later, armed robbers did not attack his driver. The car was parked in a hotel. Someone came and picked it and left. All these things came up later. So I think that one of the major challenges of Professor Peter Chumesi is the fact that he's not too open. He's very opaque. And that is not acceptable when you're occupying a public institution of interest. It's not acceptable when you're occupying a government agency office. If Mr. or Prof. Chumesi was someone who was actually willing to be transparent when it comes to his dealings at the NSA, no one would have had issues with him. But when two people come to rent a facility, and I remember all the conversations that surrounded.
Yes,
you could have easily communicated. Okay, Stoneboy can use the facility on 22nd. Shatta Wale, come and use the facility on 27, 28. It's a conversation. Let the musicians meet. Let them have a conversation. Let them decide when we can all use the facility. Because it is the growth of the musical industry. people will come and patronize them. In fact, I actually wanted to go to one of them.
Concert.
Yes.
You couldn't make it.
It was happening on my birthday. I was like, this is my birthday, so let me go some. but we needed to have that proper conversation and put everything in context before all these. If all those things were done, I'm not sure they would appear before the Public Accounts Committee and struggle to answer some of the questions they were asked, because they were simple questions. A year ago, you were asked, do you have pitch covers? You said yes. Where are they? You don't know. Oh. So it appears there's some consistency when it comes to people in the National Sports Authority being untruthful with how things are done. So the conversation Tomboy's manager had with this platform last night.
Mercury and Dr. Shine.
In as much as he didn't mention any specific figure, but it gave people an idea that 70,000 Ghana cedis we had at the Public Accounts Committee was actually more. Mm-hmm. They made a payment, so they know how much they paid.
They paid.
Sam Joy says it's 169. I got that 169 somewhere December last year.
Oh.
That's the information I had somewhere December last year. Mm. So why are you telling us it's 70,000 cedis? What happened to about 99,000 or plus money? Why is it? So we need this clarity to be able to address them, like you mentioned. We shouldn't get to a point where another musician wants to use the stadium and we have issues. Mm-hmm. Because the growth of the entertainment industry is heavily dependent on the availability of some of these facilities for them to be able to do their programs. Mm-hmm. If they are not there, how are we all going to go out there and enjoy music? So they should be, I think they should just be transparent and that with it. We will not have issues.
This is Hits.